have to ensure that I can take responsibility for our health. Do your research. Like, I read lots of herbal books. I go and do proper research, not just going to Dr. Google. That is so important because you are responsible for your own health. Your doctor is not responsible ultimately for you. You make the decisions, you make the call. Yes, the doctors, when you're under their care, they have a legal duty. Let's make a year's worth of honey fermented garlic for myself and my family. This has been most useful for my children, and I will never do without having it in my home. Do you ever use something like this? Let me know in the comments what you use in winter months for coughs, cold, and any other ailments really, and also a tasty marinade. Hi beautiful people, welcome to a new video. If it's your first time meeting me, this is Mecca, and today's video I want to do a really quick one with you guys. Okay, I have shared videos and recipes on how to make this even quicker. Well, I want to share with you making a big batch for myself and my family, actually the biggest batch I have ever made. And yeah, I got a new fermentation jar. This is a special fermentation jar I saw someone use, and you know what, let's not go into why I got it, but actually I needed a bigger one. So I usually use jars like this for this procedure. Fill it up with garlic and honey, top it up with honey. But it's a bit tricky because the honey starts bubbling. The garlic and the bacteria and the microbes start fermenting this garlic, and it starts bubbling and it might spill. And sometimes I just need a bigger jar. The one we made last year in this size of jar, I'll show you what is left. That's all that is left. And now I just labeled it garlic and honey paste. So essentially I blended it up, and the children have it at the first sign of a cold, a sore throat. I just give it to them at night. They don't like it in the morning because it still has a pungenty, garlicky smell. Not as bad as if it were fresh garlic, but it still does. Another thing, you can use it for your marinade. So that's one of the reasons I made it into a paste, because I can use it to marinate, to make meals, and it's so delicious, even for your salads. Now this one I made supplementally before getting this jar. This was made about 2 months ago. And if you see, it's been chopped up, and this method is the quickest way of making your ferments. Okay, so the bigger surface area, which means by cutting it into smaller portions, you have it ferment quicker. But today we are making it whole and really quick. So let's pop it into the jar. Okay guys, as you can see, the jar is just about halfway full. The reason I would prefer to have had it a bit more in there would be because we have it floating when the garlic starts fermenting, but that's no problem. Okay, now down to honey. Why do I make this with especially like good quality honey? Because the honey is the main ingredient. Like, yes, garlic is super antimicrobial, antiviral, but the honey as well is, and you want the combination. You want them like coming together to do their best. So this is my preferred choice. I get this Greek wild thyme honey. It's really high in antioxidants, but it's too expensive. 1 kilo cost me about £30. So I found other brands, TK Maxx. So if anyone wants to get, this is no brand ad or anything at all. I get these ones from TK Maxx. They're a bit cheaper. They're wild honeys as well, so they're not termed organic, but they're from the wild. I also used to get some African honey, but I don't have access to that now, so that's what I have. So I've got some tea tree, I've got eucalyptus, and I've got thyme, and I'm going to bring them all together to put in here. So we've got about 3 kilos of honey to 2.5 kilos of garlic. Okay, so we start with the one that we've used. We'll just tip it in there. Nice and runny honey is the best. If you have honey that's a bit crystallized like this one, you can just put it in some warm water, but we want the honey raw. So this one is a thicker honey. It will still ferment the garlic. It will just be a bit difficult to run down the jar. So that's why I prefer the runny honeys, okay? Right guys, we're nearly there. This is what it's looking like, all covered, but we're gonna add a little bit more honey. Now there's a few reasons why I love using eucalyptus tea tree. You can read about them. They're full of antimicrobial properties that are really good for the immune system, okay? And so that's why I'm particular about it. Now some people would argue get honey that's local to you, and some people do also talk about adding apple cider vinegar. Now because of botulism, do whatever you find is best for you. To be honest, I think you would not lose either way, but I don't like living in the fear. Obviously, botulism is real. The risk is high. It is real. But I've done this without any vinegar for years, and I'm happy to carry on doing it without. But if you want to add apple cider vinegar, feel free to do that, because that little acidity can reduce the risk of botulism a bit, yes. So this is what I am doing though. So I'm not telling you to do it this way. I'm just making a big enough batch for myself and my family and sharing it with you. Okay, so I'm going to add a bit more honey here. Once you've wiped it all, in a few days time we'll have bubbles forming all around here, and you find the garlic begins to float. That's no problem though, it would eventually all sink. This is what the garlic is looking like. At this stage we have bubbles. It's about 4 days since I started. It's because we have a cold weather, and also because I added vinegar in here. So adding apple cider vinegar could do that. So what I go and do once in a while, you see the scum at the top there is fine. I just go in and I give this a good stir just to ensure that we have even fermentation. And you see the increased bubbles there, all right? And that is normal. And one thing you should ensure you do is ensure that every part of this garlic is completely saturated in this honey and vinegar solution. It smells a bit fermented. It's fine. Okay, so I have a glass weight I placed on it because I have this gap at the top. If I didn't put a glass weight over it, we'll end up with a lot of the garlic at the top and not fermenting, and that's what the job of this glass jar is. Just a simple glass jar. So I've just placed it there. You see the difference is made automatically. Everything is now completely immersed in there, and I've given it a good stir. And then I'll put this back in a dark container, which is this box, away from direct sunlight really. Guys, this is 6 weeks later, and you can see how our honey has become really runny, and the garlic has changed color. And you don't have as many floaters as we had before. It's beginning to sink down at the bottom. And this is perfect. From now on, you can start using it. But I love leaving it for longer until this garlic changes color properly and it all sinks very well. The liquid you can use to do your salad dressings. You can use them to just for colds for the children or yourselves. And also you can use them in your cooking. And this garlic is delicious cooking and also using it raw. So it has so many uses, not just for colds, but the first priority here is to preserve them for our immune system, especially over the winter. Because garlic can be really harsh, it can actually burn, especially with kids. So because of that harshness, I try to ensure I only wait for at least 3 months. Now, the longer this thing is kept, the better. Like this one is over 1.5 years, and this one is only about 2 or 3 months old. And yeah, so keeping it doesn't really go bad. The shelf life is long, but I always love storing them when it's ready in the fridge, because I don't want it going bad or, spoiling. This is how we make our garlic honey ferment, and we use it for so many things. And to be honest, it has been so helpful in my family. Obviously, ensuring my family's diet is top notch is so important as well. Not just giving them this, but the children know what to go to. The slightest sore throat, itchy throat, runny nose, they come for this, and they know it really makes a difference to them. Now, I am not giving you any medical advice. If you have never tried it, you're worried about botulism, whatever, do your research. Like, I read lots of herbal books. I go and do proper research, not just going to Dr. Google. That is so important, because because you are responsible for your own health. Your doctor is not responsible ultimately for you. You make the decisions, you make the call. Yes, the doctors, when you're under their care, they have a legal duty of care, but if you don't make the right choices, it doesn't matter who you give your care to. So this is why I took responsibility of my family and my care, and I started making things like this. Obviously, if they need to go to the hospital, I do not stop them going. I am a registered nurse, and I would also ensure I give them the best care as part of my duty of care. Anyway, enough of that. Have you enjoyed the video? Has it added value to you? Do you like what you see? Take it at night time, and in the morning they take fire cider. If you don't know much about fire cider, I have a video showing. I'll probably put the link how I make fire cider. Those are my two key winter things I use. I always have to have it at home in the winter and even all year round, because I have a growing family and I'm really concerned. I have to ensure that I can take responsibility for our health. Anyway, until next time, give a comment, let me know what you think, and also like the video if it's added value to you. Share the video to your friends and lovers. It's the simplest thing to me. Actually, let me tell you a story about this. We went on holiday with friends, and her son was having really bad allergies, like really sneezing and runny nose and teary eyes. And I said, look, I got something I can give you, because I always travel with it. I take a pouch size wherever I go. So I said, oh, let me give it to him. We were there for about 5 days, and I gave it to him every day. And before we left, the teary eyes, everything was gone. And she was like, no, this is amazing. I said, yes, it works. And guess what? Ever since then, it's over a year ago, she doesn't stop making it. She makes it and sends me pictures. I'll see if I'll put pictures on the screen. She sends me pictures and like, we've made our new honey and garlic, and it works. I don't even think she goes into much organic garlic and stuff, but it always works. I am particular about getting organic garlic if you can get access to it, because you know there's no pesticides and there are no harsh chemicals in them, especially when you want something to be supportive to your health. You don't want taking pesticides alongside. Anyway, I gotta go now. Please, thank you for sharing this video. Share to your friends and loved ones, and also do not forget to like it and comment. I love to hear from you. If you've ever tried it, what are the favorite things you use them for? And also do not forget to subscribe, and I really want to see you in another video. Bye. Mwah.